Two props here that we're going to be using. One of them is playing cards. Can you see them well?
See.
Okay.
Hold it a
And
little closer.
a jar of beans.
Okay.
Okay, so buenas noches. Welcome to the second class. Today is numbers. Now, I know that some know and some don't know, but we're going to start from the very beginning. Okay? So, we're going to talk about cardinal numbers and ordinal numbers. The way I remember what ordinal numbers means is ordinal means order. So first, second, third, fourth, those are the ordinal numbers. The cardinal numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay? All right, so today we will use a pack of playing cards and we will use the jar of beans. For your exercises, you'll see what you're going to use. Okay, so first of all, well, we talked about the difference between cardinal and ordinal. So we'll start with the unos, in other words, the ones. So I'm sure that you know 1 through 20, or should I not assume that? 1 through 20 is fine?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right. What we're going to do is pronounce them anyway, just to get this moving so that we're pronouncing. And then we will talk about the ordinal numbers that are alongside. Okay? All right. So, by the way, do you have the metronome app? If you have a metronome app, okay, I'm going to show you how to use it with your exercises, with memorization exercises. Now, this one shows 120 as the speed, but that's a little fast. Can you hear it? Can all of you hear it? Yes?
Is it just me, or is you're breaking up a lot for me, Julie? Is it just me?
I thought it was me. That's why I turned my video off for the bandwidth. But it might be Julie.
Okay, and I'm really close to the router.
We'll just blame it on the World Wide Web then.
Okay, I tell you what, let me activate the chat so that you can let me know what I need to repeat.
Okay.
Okay, does everybody see where they can chat? Okay.
Not sure.
Okay, do you see anything there that says chat?
If you're on your phone or possibly iPad, you have to tap the screen and it should pop up at the bottom saying chat, or you have to slide the screen to the right or left, possibly, and tap it, see if the options show up.
Did that work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It showed me a pencil, I think, at the bottom of the screen with your name.
I
At the
think I
bottom
hit
left.
on the bottom where it says participants on my iPhone.
Yes.
If you hit that, then the next thing should be, you should have a chat button.
Yeah, a little chat bubble.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mine's is to the top. All right.
Okay.
Okay, can you write okay in the chat then so that I know, Sharita?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You gotta tap it to get the keyboard to pop up.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Couple
All right.
minutes
Great.
leeway
Got
for
it.
technical.
Thank you for your help. Okay.
You're welcome.
So what we're going to do is pronounce them, but we're going to use the metronome to do it. So this whoops. Oh, that shouldn't be that way. What's going on? Why is that a 8? Oh. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you're doing your practicing, each one of these would represent a number. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And that's what you would also do for your alphabet. You'd also be able to do it when you're memorizing the conjugation of a verb. But you can use the metronome to gauge yourself. Go as slow as you need to go at the beginning and then speed it up. So right now, I'm going to say it. When I go like that, please say it. Okay?
Okay.
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 1,
Uno.
Uno,
Uno, dos,
2,
tres,
tres,
3,
cuatro,
Cuatro.
4,
cinco,
cinco,
5,
seis,
6,
siete,
Siete.
siete,
ocho,
ocho,
8,
nueve,
nueve,
9,
9.
10,
10,
10.
once,
11.
11,
doce,
12,
12,
trece,
13,
13,
catorce.
14,
14,
Okay, not cat, it's ca. Catorce,
14,
14,
15,
quince. Smile when you say I.
Quince.
Quince.
15,
Now here's where it gets a little tricky. 16.
16,
16,
It sounds like we should say des or dis, but it's die.
16,
16,
16,
17,
18,
18,
19,
19,
19,
19,
19,
19.
19.
Okay, it's not deci, it's dieci. I'm going to write it phonetically in the chat box. So it sounds like, whoops, it sounds like D, ye, si, nueve.
De,
Die, 19. 19. No, don't go fast. Don't go fast. 19.
19.
Let's say it again. Let's say it syllable by syllable, and I'll add syllables as we go. Die,
10,
dieci,
10,
19.
19,
It's not des, it's die. 19.
19.
Okay, be careful. D,
E.
D,
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 die,
D,
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 die,
D,
D,
dieci,
D,
C,
dieci,
D,
C,
19.
19,
19,
19.
19,
19.
19.
Okay, we're gonna back up before we finish it. D,
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 die,
D,
dieci,
D,
C,
19.
19,
19.
Diecinueve.
19.
19.
Diecinueve.
That's much better. That's much better. Always go slow before you go fast. You never have to go fast. You can always go slow.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So notice that 16 through 19 are dieci.
Yes.
Dieci. It's like saying diez y. In other words, 10 and the word and in Spanish, which is y. Dieci nueve. Dieci siete. Dieci ocho. But it's one word. Okay? All right. So now you can use your playing cards in two ways. You can separate all of the numbers and the aces from the royals, and then you'll have from 1 to 10. Or you can use them to count and count and count. For instance, if you go uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, and you can even go backwards, seis, cuatro, seis, cinco, cuatro, tres, dos, uno, and you practice and practice and practice until you get it at a good speed. You can have this slide in front of you so that you know where to go from where, if you're learning the numbers. Now, we're talking about the ordinal numbers, excuse me. You can do the same thing with the cards. Let's just go through all of the ordinal numbers in the second column first, okay? Primero,
Primero.
segundo,
Segundo.
segundo,
Segundo.
tercero.
Tercero.
Zero.
Please look at my ere video for those who have problems with ere. Cuarto.
Cuarto.
Yeah, that's that ere before the te is always difficult for us foreigners. Quinto, and smile, quinto.
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 Sexto,
Sexto.
séptimo,
Séptimo.
Séptimo.
octavo,
Octavo.
octavo,
Octavo.
Octavo.
octavo,
Octavo.
Octavo.
noveno,
Noveno.
Noveno.
décimo.
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 Now notice that séptimo and décimo, the stress is on the first syllable. That's what the accent mark has involves. So you see
I
the
think those are
accent
the two easiest ones to repeat.
mark? Pardon? Excuse me?
I think those two are the easiest one to repeat.
Rita, after 6 months, you'll have no problem. If you
Okay,
practice every day.
I take your word for it.
Okay. All right. Now, let's look at the fourth column. Now, you notice that I have two ways to say it.
Yeah.
Undécimo, duodécimo, décimo tercero, décimo cuarto, etc. Those are the traditional ways of saying 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, etc. However, currently, a lot of Latin Americans use the other way. They will put once, for instance, and they'll add an avo to it. So the 11th book is not libro undécimo, it's libro onceavo. Okay? Now I ran into that because I learned undécimo, duodécimo, décimo tercero, etc. in school. When I went to Ecuador, I found that people were using the onceavo, doceavo, and I was thinking, what in the world does that mean? But that's the way a lot of people use, especially in conversation, you will hear people use this. It's to the point now that, for instance, in Guayaquil, you will see onceava for a street sign. You won't see undécimo.
That's new to me.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you know what to do? Always go by the people that you are, in our case, preaching to. Whatever they use that. In the publications, you're going to find undécimo, duodécimo, décimo tercero, because that's the formal way to do it. But people will say onceavo, doceavo, catorceavo, quinceavo, etc.
Okay.
All right. So let's run through the pronunciation of the imos, the simos, and the ceros, and then we'll go to the avos. We won't take that much time with it, but you need to at least have the recording so that you can practice. Okay?
Yeah, need to get my ear trained for that one.
Okay. All right. So, undécimo,
Undécimo.
duodécimo,
Duodécimo.
décimo tercero.
Décimo tercero.
Again, décimo tercero.
Décimo tercero.
tercero.
Décimo cuarto.
Décimo cuarto.
Cuatro.
Décimo quinto.
Décimo quinto.
Décimo sexto.
Décimo sexto.
Décimo séptimo.
Décimo séptimo.
Décimo octavo.
Décimo octavo.
Décimo noveno.
Décimo noveno.
And vigésimo.
Vigésimo.
Okay, so you can rewind and rewind and rewind the recording all you want to tomorrow. Okay. let's
Okay.
keep going. But did you have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I supposed to be recording the lessons?
No, I'm recording it right now.
Okay.
And then I'll send you the link to the recording.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have onceavo,
Onceavo.
doceavo,
Doceavo.
treceavo,
Treceavo.
catorceavo,
Catorceavo.
quinceavo.
Quinceavo.
Now this is difficult. Dieciseisavo,
Dieciseisavo.
and yes, that is a word. Diecisieteavo.
Diecisiete-avo.
Okay, remember it's dieci, those three.
Dieci.
And then say sieteavo.
Siete-avo.
Diecisiete.
Dieciochoavo.
Dieciochoavo.
Again, okay, let's go. Let's do it slower. Dieciochoavo.
Dieciochoavo.
One more time. Dieciochoavo.
Dieciochoavo.
Okay. Diecinueveavo.
Diecinueveavo.
Veinteavo.
Veinteavo.
Okay. So what you can do is ask your friends which one they use.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be surprised at how many people use avo. They might not admit to it, but if you hear them in conversation, you'll hear avo, and oh, okay, that's what they're using. Okay?
Okay.
So those are the ones. Let's go to the 10s. Or let's go to the 20s. Now, the 20s, within from 20 to 20, 21 to 29, it's one word. We're going to see a difference when we get to 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. But let's go through this. Oops. Let's go through this list. 21,
21,
21,
22,
22,
22,
23,
23,
23,
24,
24,
25,
25,
25,
26,
26,
27,
27,
28,
28,
29.
29.
29.
Okay. All right. Can you, yes, my internet connection is unstable. I don't know why, but
We still hear you.
can you still hear me all right, or has it been
Yes.
breaking up?
No, it's been clear.
We
Okay.
hear you.
Okay. All right. Now the decenas and the in-between numbers. So from 20 to 100, this is the list. So we'll do the first column first, okay? Any questions so far?
No.
Good.
All right. So we have 20,
20,
20,
20,
30,
30,
30,
40,
40,
40,
50,
50,
50,
60,
60,
60,
80,
80,
90.
70.
Pardon?
Did we do 70?
Did we do did I say 70 or I skipped it?
no,
Okay, thank you very much. We'll back up to 60 then. 60,
60,
60,
70,
70,
70,
80,
80,
80,
90,
90,
100.
10,
100.
All right,
100.
good. Now, if we need numbers between 20 and 30, and then, excuse me, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, etc. Notice that instead of making one number or one word, as we did with the 20s and the latter teens, it's 3 words. Just as Carrie wrote in the chat box, 10 and is 1 word. In 16, 17, when you come to 31, 42, 53, etc., all the numbers between the 0 numbers, between the tens, you have to say 3 words. So you don't say 31 as 1 word. You say 31.
Mm.
Now, to our ear, it sounds like 31 as 1 word, but it's 3 words.
Okay.
All right,
So, quick question.
go ahead.
In written, it's obviously 3 words, but in spoken, does it really sound like 1 word?
It depends on the accent of the person.
Okay.
You now, of course, you've been in Ecuador a long time, so now you've seen 31 written. So your ear and brain say, okay, yeah, that's 3 words. But if you're just starting out, it might sound like 1 word. I mean, Spanish to us sounds like 1 long word anyway. But written, it's 3.
Okay.
Okay, but valid question. So, Tony, what is 64 in English?
64 is 64.
Okay, Carrie, 87.
87,
Okay, Rita, 42.
42.
Okay, all right. So you be aware that the in-between numbers between 30, 40, 40, 60, 40, 50, 60, 40, 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90 and 100, you're going to need 3 words to say it.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Now, the cientos. Now we're talking hundred. So let's go through the first column. Cien,
100,
100,
doscientos,
200,
200,
trescientos,
300,
300,
cuatrocientos,
400,
400,
quinientos,
500,
500.
500.
It's that ñe sound that we had with the 19. Ñe. 500,
500,
500,
600,
600,
700.
700,
700,
Okay, let's try that again. 700,
700,
800,
800,
800,
900,
900,
900.
900.
Okay, all right. Now, when we say 100, just the number 100, we use the word cien. Once we say 101, we have to say 101,
Okay.
not 101, but 101, 102, 123, 144. Okay, we do not use the word and or e after ciento.
Okay.
Well, I have made that mistake.
A friend of mine said, if you don't mess up, you won't learn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm learning then.
All right, so miles y millones. Now we've gone over the 20 mark, but we're almost through. So 20-minute mark, so we'll just keep going. Miles y millones, thousands, millions. Okay, so when we get to 1 million, we simply say un mil. When the number is exactly 1,000. Once we say 1923, then we don't say un mil. We just start with mil.
Mhm.
1923. So
Okay.
2,000, 2,000. 3,000, 3,000. 200,000, 200,000. That make sense?
Yes.
Question?
No.
No. No question? Okay. You sure? Well, okay. If you think of a question, please just say, I have a question. All right. Now let's go to millones, millions. Same thing. If the number is exactly 1 million, then you do say un millón. Or as you will hear certain people say, un millón.
Mhm.
Okay? But if it's 1,100,000, then you say millón, cien mil, etc. But now when a number becomes an adjective, in other words, when the number is followed by a noun, because you're talking about how many books, houses, cars, what dollars, whatever it is. Now you're talking about a number not standing by itself, but it is describing the noun that's coming after it. You don't say un millón libros. You have to say un millón de libros, un millón de casas, un millón de dólares. So when you have the number, un millón, then it's followed by a noun, person, place, or thing. You need the word de between the number and the noun. Shall I repeat that?
Can you repeat the first part where you said a million, where you had just the number, not exactly a million. What was that number again?
1,100,000.
100,000, right?
So millón,
Million,
100,000.
cien.
I don't say
Okay.
1,100,000.
Okay.
In
Mhm.
English, we say a million, 1,100,000.
Mm-hmm.
In Spanish, they don't. They only say a million, un millón, if there's no other number, if it is exactly 1 million.
Right.
I missed that the first time.
Does that help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Questions?
Are we going to do a billion?
Yes. That is the next slide. How many zeros does the English million have? If I say
6.
1 million,
Six.
how many zeros?
6.
6.
Now, how many zeros does the Spanish millón have? 9.
6. 9. Wow.
Because it goes by the European method. In
Oh,
Europe, a billion, in the United States, a billion is 9 zeros.
okay.
Right.
In Europe, a billion is 12 zeros. Between
So,
the European million and the European billion, there's a figure called 1,000 million. And that is what is equal to our billion
in Spanish.
in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
So if I say, wait a minute. Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. Not talking. I've written this wrong. Thank you for catching me, Carrie. It's billón. What's the difference between English billón and the Spanish billón? I'm so sorry. So it's okay. Let me write it out. We're going to do a new share, and we're going to write it out on the whiteboard.
So million is the same English Spanish. Million, millón, same number of zeros.
Exactly. Yes. Sorry
Okay.
about that. I'm glad.
So we're going on to the billion.
Yes. So English billion is 100, comma 00, comma 000. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But now the Spanish billion,
Billón.
billón. Okay, I'm not sure if I can do a. Okay, just imagine that there's an accent mark on that O. Okay. So we've got, this is mil, this is millón, this is mil millón, and this is billón.
Wow.
So if I have billion in English, that's going to be equal to mil millones in Spanish.
Okay.
If you ever become a translator, always ask, who is your target audience? If it's UK or Australia or Australia or South Africa or New Zealand, you're going to have to put mil millones.
Okay.
Or if you see mil millones in the Spanish, it's billón, it's billion rather in English. So always ask.
So kind of confusing, but billion is where it changes.
Yes, yes. And you will find that certain countries in South America are sliding towards the United States way of saying billion. So you need, especially if you talk to US Hispanics, they have grown up with the US way of thinking of billion. And when they talk to a European, or they talk as European Spaniard, or they talk to certain countries in South America, the figures get mixed up. So always ask.
periods and the commas on money.
And that, yes, yes.
Okay.
yes. By the way,
So-
Rita, thank you for bringing that up, Carrie. By the way, Rita, when you get to Ecuador, watch out for your periods and commas. It will be the reverse in a lot of instances.
And numbers,
Okay.
In
especially
other
money.
words, they use instead of using a period for decimals, they will use a comma,
Okay.
and vice versa. They will use a period where we would use a comma, like for 1,000 or 22,000.
Okay.
However, the trend is switching to the United States, especially when Ecuador went to the dollar.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so always ask.
All righty. Thank
Any other
you.
questions?
Good tips.
Not right now.
No questions? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll close it out here. And on Friday, we talk about qué hora es.
Okay.
All right? So I will send you this, the PowerPoint presentation. Oh, the homework, I forgot the homework. I want you to count everything in your house,
Count it.
okay? In other words, and I want you to touch it. For instance, you got a jar of beans, just take them out. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. And you can do it primero, segundo, tercero,
Okay.
cuarto. You can also do it 30, 40, 50, 70, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000. And do it backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't have to spend hours and hours doing it. Put your timer on and do it for a minute.
So get the bag of beans out tomorrow
Get the bag of beans out tonight.
and a pack of cards.
Tomorrow's fine. Tomorrow's fine.
I just
No, I
cooked
need
my
some
bag of beans.
Last night was a long night for my meeting.
Or what you can do is go like, if you've got stuff on your refrigerator, touch it and say the numbers.
Okay.
Okay.
When you're going down the wall, just touch the wall 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as you're
Yeah, each one of my stairs.
There you go. If
Yeah.
you do exercises, count them off. You can count them off in millones. 1 millón, 2 millón, 3 millón.
Muscle memory.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. No questions then?
You covered them.
Okay. Very good. With your help. So, hasta viernes, chicas.
Hasta viernes.
Hasta Viejo.